Jason? Hey man, are you there? It's time for the show.
Hey, Bug. Glad you're here. We have a busy show today.
Jason?
Oh, yes, it's definitely me. I'm thinking about taking the show in a new direction.
Felix, what are you doing?
Taking over your show, Dad.
Go to your room.
This is my room.
I like this kid.
Dance like the moves that you're doing on purpose. Sing like a singing on key. Talk to the girl that intimidates you. Pretend that you're brilliant and charming. I said pretend that you're brilliant and charming. Hey!
Welcome, everybody. Later with Jason Suel. Man, my son was just in here taking over for me for a
I
second.
mean, where can we get him back? Like,
Yeah.
I kind of liked where that was going.
I thought that you would. I know. I think you and him should have your own show because that would be hilarious.
I'm pitching it tomorrow.
How are things going, man? We're kind of like fall is rolling along. I can't believe that we are, right here in the middle of it. How are things going for you?
Same. Everything's changing. Everything's feeling a little bit cooler, not just the weather. It's a little bit of a refreshing thing. And, we're still doing Zoom, but I think that we're probably the only Zoom call that people enjoy seeing every week. So that's good. But yeah, things are good.
That's true, man. Zoom fatigue is a real thing. Sometimes I have to admit, I'm like, my brain starts to check out. But honestly, it's just like it would in any meeting that I was in. You have those moments of like, you're wondering for a second before you have to focus again.
That's right. But not here.
Not here.
Later with Jason Suel.
That's right. We have all the fun.
Tonight?
So, dude, we have a rockin' show. I'm wearing my Metallica shirt because,
I'm wearing some sort of rock and roll shirt. Like, How did that? We didn't even. I promise, guys, we didn't talk. We
did not talk about that. We knew that this episode was going to rock, and that's because we are welcoming Travis Smith to our show. Now, Travis Smith, he is a drummer in many Northwest Arkansas bands. He's been around our region for a long time. He's also working on the marketing team at George's Majestic Lounge, so he kind of talks to us about what's going on with George's. You want to stick around for that interview. We've got the amazing chef Maudie Schmidt joining us on the show.
Yes, Maudie's coming on. If you guys haven't been getting carry out from Cafe Rue, you're missing out.
Yes, totally. Maudie's going to talk to us a bit about that. All of her Cajun influences there at Cafe Rue Orleans. And then we're going to have a music video by The Next Unknown. Now, The Next Unknown is a band that Travis Smith is known for being the drummer of. So he's going to join us kind of twice in this episode. It's going to be packed full of rockin' material. And right now we're going to send it over to our friends at Bike Eureka in Eureka Springs to find out how their trail system is totally expanding. And it's really fun. You got to check it out and then stick around. All those things we talked about are happening later. Jason Suel here for Bike Eureka. We're here with Herman Owens. He's the trail manager for Eureka Springs Parks. We're so glad that you would take the time to visit with us and have us out. So thanks, Herman.
Thank you guys for showing up.
Yeah, where are we right now?
We are at Magnetic Springs. This is at the bottom of Passion Play Trails, and it's kind of the big gathering point right before you roll into downtown.
Yeah, I have to say, I've never been here before. It's a beautiful little spot. There's a picnic area, and it's kind of like where the Passion Play Trails sort of connect to the rest of downtown.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
And a lot of us locals use it to enter Passion Play. We'll climb the trail up to hit the trails from here.
Oh, interesting.
So this is kind of like our starting point for in-town Passion Play entrance.
Gotcha. What are we looking for? What's this trail? What can I expect? Because I think we're about to hop on it, right?
It's a green level climb. It has a nice little ascending to it, and it's going to be moderate on tempo and pretty easy to get to the top. It just pedal, pedal, pedal.
Yeah. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Always keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you get to the top, Herman, can you just come right back down if you want to?
Yes, actually, the trails end up back here. They all loop up here, and it's actually a nice black diamond that ends like right behind here.
Right. So I'll probably stay off the Black Diamond. But, so this is kind of a gathering place, right, where all the trails come together.
Yes. right
Yeah.
here in town.
Yeah.
Before we go off to Black Bass Lake and stuff like that, we'll come up, hit Passion Play, do the loop, circle back down, and go up to Black Bass Lake.
And what I hear you saying is kind of talking about the ever-expanding trail system that exists here in
Yes.
Eureka Springs, right?
Absolutely. We have about 30 miles of in-town trail. Us locals use quite a bit just to get through town, get to the high schools, and everywhere else we need to go.
I love it. Awesome. Well, let's go take a ride and see what this trail has to offer.
Sam's Furniture doing good. Shine a spotlight on your neighborhood.
Well, we've returned to Sam's Furniture. We're joined by Nick Robbins, Returning Home, nonprofit based right here in Springdale. Tell us about the work that you do in our community.
Absolutely. Returning Home is a place for men and women that are coming out of incarceration that have a past that is hindering the future they desire. We'd love to come alongside them in that process.
And you were also talking about how you have a facility where they can stay, but also you provide services if they're not just staying at the facility. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, we have a food pantry, clothing closet. We help people get jobs. We have classes, but then we also have a residential component for men pulling directly from prison that are looking to stay for 90 days.
Well, if people are watching right now, they want to learn more about the organization, how can they do that?
Yeah, you can go to our website. It's www.returninghomenwa.com.
Thank you so much. Bo, what's going on?
I think I'm gonna return home with this lamp.
This is not what that means. Welcome back, everybody. Later with Jason Suel. So glad that you're tuned in. We're joined right now by Travis Smith. He is Mr. Music in Northwest Arkansas, big-time drummer, does a lot of stuff at George's Majestic Lounge, and he's got his fingerprint on a lot of the Northwest Arkansas music scene. Thanks for taking the time, Travis, to chat with us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, so let's just dive into speaking to your career as a musician. Tell us about that. How'd you get started, and what all bands are you involved with right now at the moment?
Okay. Yeah, I'd started playing music here in Northwest Arkansas. I actually started at the Ozark Blues Society jams at George's in my mid-teens with my mom taking me there.
A long time ago.
Yeah, that was when I was like 15. So you're talking almost 20 years ago.
Wow.
So then later on, getting out of high school, jumping in a few bands and toured for 6 or 7 years doing the cover band thing, and then jumping in some more bands doing the original band thing, and kind of just touring for about 7 to 8 years, and then really, working in bars and also doing talent buying and booking, and the Gypsy that used to be here in town working, doing their website and stuff.
Yeah, and I know that you're in, a new band in Northwest Arkansas that's kind of like a super group, The Next Unknown.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are like from different bands, but you come together. You want to talk a little bit about that band and that group and how it formed?
Yeah, The Next Unknown, Caleb Inyard, our singer, is we used to have a band called Silverstone together, and Caleb was our singer. And we had kind of a core group of the band that came back together as The Next Unknown, and we picked up Jim Goza, who played in the Pogs, and Jim and Juice here in town, as well as Mikkel Imler moved here from Florida for music, and so we were able to find a project for him. And we got back together and started writing music again after taking multiple years off, from being in the Silverstone project and coming back with this. And so we wrote a song and then wrote another song, and then we wrote a whole show's worth, went and played a show, and been able to record a few songs and release Crazy and My Masquerade.
I've been a promoter for a long time. Travis has been one of the most prolific promoters to hit Fayetteville in a long time. And it wasn't easy before the pandemic. And, Travis, I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on just like the Northwest Arkansas music scene, how it's always had like a down period and an up period and a down period. But how do we as citizens of Northwest Arkansas help keep it alive and help keep it strong?
Around mid to late August, we really started looking at this outdoor concert series, and we had to move the concerts outside to where we can kind of space everything out a little bit more. And, we picked up the streaming setup to where we can stream the concerts online and stuff like that. And I think, speaking, Bo, on your kind of how do you promote shows and yourself as an artist at this time, I personally believe, with the streaming coming out, everything's kind of went into a digital age. Myself being of an age where I remember the time before what we think of as the digital age. I remember buying like the CDs,
the
AOL.
before times.
Yeah. So being of age and where I remember those times, but also seeing the digital age coming in, it's kind of, I feel like right now they're kind of clashing, and it's figuring out what the new thing is going to be. And to answer your question, Bo, I have no idea really how to do it. But, we're fortunate at George's to have this parking lot series and a team there where everybody's thinking safety first. So, for me personally, being a part of a team like that, but also knowing that I do have influence in our community as far as music and stuff like that, I think right now it's just in a weird spot. There's not a lot of venues that have a setup to where they can safely open right now.
These events that you have, obviously, are they ticketed events? Is this one of the ways that we can support our artists, is by getting a ticket to one of these concert series or even the live stream events that you're doing?
Yeah, for sure. At George's, we have the ticketed events. We're also doing a happy hour, our Friday happy hour shows. Some of them will be outside on the patio, but some of them are streamed online, so you can watch from the George's Majestic Lounge Facebook page, and there's donations for the artist. But for the ticketed shows outside, we're doing a limited capacity, of 200 people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great being safe here in the early stages kind of reopening, and see what that's like. But I love the fact that you are still, as George's has always been, supporting artists in our community. And also, how that is personally, Travis, because you yourself are an artist. So thank you. Thanks for spending the time to chat with us about that, and about all the, the groups that you're in, all the things that you're doing in Northwest Arkansas, and specifically George's Majestic Lounge. If people are curious, what's your website? Where can we go to find more information about shows at George's?
You can go to georgeslive.com. There we have a full schedule of all the shows that we have coming up. You can purchase the tickets there. I'm also a host of the podcast there, so I'm going to be interviewing some of the bands that are coming up. So if you want to go to like the George's Live podcast and go to the page there, you can kind of check out the artists before they come. And
I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, do it. Follow George's Live on all podcast platforms.
Yeah, awesome. We're going to check that out right now as we go into commercial. Folks, stay with us. We got more happening later.
Did you just say I'm crazy? Did you hear what all the rumors say? Oh, they say you shouldn't get too close. There's trouble everywhere he goes, but it's so entertaining when he puts on a show. Tell me something I don't already know. You tell me I'm crazy, I got no self-control. Ooh, I'm hell bent, there's no saving my soul. Oh no, mama, I'm a time bomb and I'm ready to blow. Everyone seems to stare at me, just waiting. Well, the elephant in the room is here, so keep your motives crystal clear. Now all eyes are on you, dear, so put on a show. So tell me something that I already know. You tell me I'm crazy, I got no self
Welcome back, everybody, to our show Later with Jason Suel. We are so glad to welcome Chef Marty Schmidt to the show from Cafe Rue Orleans in Fayetteville. You're renowned all over the region for your Cajun cooking, and today you're doing something really fresh and you've engaged the farmers market. So what do we got going on, Chef?
We're going to do a classic summertime ratatouille. And so this morning I ran to the farmer's market. I didn't run in my pajamas, so, I was squash, red bell pepper, zucchini, some beautiful tomatoes, and I'm going to do just a ratatouille. It's the best thing to do this time because everything grows. Everybody's got tons of zucchini, tons of tomatoes. What do I do with them? This is perfect. And if you want, you can add shrimp to it. You can add chicken. It could be a side veggie, or it could be, you could add pasta.
And you can spice it up if you want.
That's right.
Spice it up, jalapeno.
I love it. All right, well, let's get to cooking, Chef. We're ready when you are.
1 onion. This is really simple, too.
Listen to it.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Too bad you can't smell it. It's too good.
I'm pretending. I see all those spice racks. I'm trying to imagine what that's all going to smelling like in the kitchen.
See all the steam. And then we're just going to start adding zucchini, red bell, squash.
I mean, a lot of people think ratatouille is like a really fancy
Right, yes.
French dish.
It sounds fancy.
But it's super easy to do.
Well, I mean, you can see how long did it take me.
Yeah.
That fast.
And then what I'll do is I'll just sweat all this down. I mean, this is truly farm to table if you want to think about how things go. This morning they were picked. Now we're cooking with them. And this is the easy part. We're lucky. We're lucky in Fayetteville to have a great farmers market.
And they're doing a really good job with the social distancing and everything.
They are.
Out here as well.
Absolutely.
They, funneling people in, kind of pushing them to come in all together. Everybody's got a mask on so that not everybody's helter-skelter all over the place.
Let's say you want some shrimp in there. Do you cook it in that dish, or do you cook the shrimp separately and then add it later?
I would do it in the dish. I'd make just like a little bit of a well in the center and just put your shrimp in there, because shrimp don't take but maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, they cook
So
real fast.
right at the very end, basically you're putting your shrimp in, and then I'll always season at the end. A little bit at the beginning and then a little bit at the end. Because the veggies we're using has a lot of water. So, it's going to evaporate, it's going to steam, and then we're going to lose some of the flavor.
Yeah.
So now if you were doing chicken, I would do the chicken about 10 minutes into this. Cut your chicken in little bites because that needs to cook a little bit longer than shrimp.
Yeah,
Shrimp,
that's a good
perfect.
tip.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's what I would go with. That's my first choice is shrimp. And speaking of shrimp and all the spices that we're talking about, what's happening at Cafe Rue Orleans right now? Are you doing curbside? Are you doing takeout?
Doing
Dine
some
in?
really good to go muffalados, because that's been my go-to.
We're doing all three. We're doing curbside delivery. Clunk delivers if you want it to your house. Chris Selby.
Yes.
We do dine in. We have about 20 chairs, so we're doing that. And then people just come in, pick it up. Sometimes they get out of their car and come in. We're happy to do whatever you need to do. We just want you to eat our food.
Yeah.
Love eating that food.
It's delicious, so everybody should be eating the food.
Yeah, but we're doing what we need to do. The social distancing. We could open up to 40 chairs, but we wouldn't have the 6-foot social distancing in our restaurant. Some restaurants can pull it off.
Right. Yeah, well, we want to support the farmers market, but also everything you have going on from a local perspective at Cafe Rue Orleans as well. Well, Chef, thank you so much for joining us. That dish looks delicious. Can you tilt it towards the camera a little bit?
Absolutely.
Again? I want to see what that looks like.
I can almost smell it.
Oh, man. That looks delicious.
Oh.
You're always doing great stuff at Cafe Rue Orleans. We really appreciate how you support the community, Marty, and we love to support you as well. So thanks for taking the time to visit with us today.
Thanks, guys. Zoom works.
Yeah, for sure. Bye. Stay with us, folks. We got more happening later. Well, that's our show. Thanks so much for tuning in Later with Jason Suel. And remember, you can find us out there on your social media platforms. We're doing some really cool new stuff over on Facebook, on Instagram. You can watch any of our old episodes on our YouTube channel.
They're all there, even
They
the
are.
old terrible ones.
Yes, from way long time ago when
The
we both
before
had
time.
we both had more hair and different hair. You can watch the progression of our different hairstyles through the years as well. That sounds exciting.
Doesn't it?
And you can send us an email, let us know what you think about those hairstyles over at laterwithjasonsuel.com. But before we leave this episode, we have to thank all of our amazing guests, including the one and only Travis Smith, and also the band, The Next Unknown. They have a great sound. Really appreciate them on the show today. Also want to thank, as always, our friends at Bike Eureka for taking me around the trails in Eureka Springs.
And of course, my favorite part of every show, the food. We had Chef Maudie come from Cafe Rue, live from her kitchen, making ratatouille. I mean, I'm craving Cajun now. I think I'm going to go call Clunk and have a muffalata delivered.
Yeah, well, before you do that, we got to send it off into next week. So we'll see you then, everybody. See you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.